This morning, a hero's homecoming. Officers from around the metro and across the country getting ready to pay their respects to a fallen brother.
Everyone's grieving the same. Everyone is, trying to work through it the best they can.
We're remembering Independence Officer Blaise Madrid-Evans, who lost his life in the line of duty.
Good morning. We do thank you for joining us for this special report as we cover the funeral of an Independence police officer killed in the line of duty. I'm Joe Chiodo.
And I'm Kelly Taylor. Now soon, family, friends, and fellow officers will come together at the Community of Christ Auditorium in Independence. This is what we're looking at here. They are honoring the life of Officer Blaise Madrid-Evans. He was shot and killed while on duty last week.
Blaise Madrid-Evans was just 22 years old. Heartbreaking. He was born in North Kansas City in 1999, graduated from Smithville High School in 2018. He was an emergency responder with an American Medical Response for almost 2 years. Now, in July, Madrid-Evans graduated from the Police Academy and began his career with the Independence Police Department. Just weeks into the job, he responded to a call and was killed by an armed man. He does leave behind a fiancée and family members.
Right now, his loved ones, brothers and sisters in blue, are gathered at the Community of Christ Auditorium in Independence. The funeral starts at 11 o'clock and it's expected to last 90 minutes. Now, following it, there will be a procession to the cemetery. The public is invited to line the route and pay their respects. After leaving Community of Christ Church, Officer Madrid-Evans' casket will travel past the Independence Police Department where he worked, Van Horn High School, and then come to his final resting place at Mount Washington Cemetery. We do have team coverage along the procession route.
That's right, and we do begin with Nathan Vickers. He is live right outside of Community of Christ Auditorium in Independence with the very latest. Nathan, what can you report from where you're at?
Yeah, Joe and Kelly, you can see just as a glimpse of the kind of support that Officer Blaise Madrid-Evans has been receiving today. Behind me, the Independence Police Department and some of their families, as well as some other first responders, firefighters, law enforcement, they're all getting ready to head into the auditorium for the service. And as you said, that service starts at 11 o'clock. So that's coming up in about 10 minutes here. But we've seen police cars and motorcycles and uniforms from all over the area. We've seen people here from Columbia, Missouri, and Springfield, Missouri. It looks like the Kansas City Police Department is here. The Kansas City, Kansas Police Department is here. We're expecting to see more of that. Law enforcement from all over the country coming in to show their support and to be a part of that procession out to Mount Washington Cemetery. So people are just sort of starting to go in there today. We're also expecting to see people coming in from Officer Madrid-Evans' hometown in Smithville, Missouri. I've talked to people who knew him up there and they wanted to come and show support here, as well as people from his school community. The school sent a representative down to attend this service today here. So you're seeing that support starting to come out. It's a very somber mood out here, but I think people really want to show that family love and give them comfort and offer them support on this difficult day. Joe?
And Nathan, there's so many people there showing that support. I know you mentioned you've talked to some. I imagine a lot of them have commented on his age. Is there anything you can say that they've talked about? I mean, such a young age that he died.
Yeah, Joe, and I think that is what hits the hardest, right, is the young age of that police officer. And when I talk to people who knew him, they thought of him as a kid, as a student. I mean, he had graduated high school just 4 years ago. He was working at a barbecue restaurant in Smithville, Missouri, just a few years ago. And I think that people are really sensitive to that, and they had high hopes for him because he was a dreamer and a nice young man, and this was his passion. He was pursuing his passion, and he had only gotten this far. He had just started when all of this happened.
Yeah, he was just getting starting, but there's such a large turnout so far already. So thank you, Nathan.
We will continue our coverage with Nathan throughout the rest of the afternoon. But right now we want to get you out to Angie Racono, helping with our team coverage as well. She is joining us live from the Independence Police Department. Angie.
Hi, Joe and Kelly. Obviously, just an incredibly sad day for this police department. Officer Madrid-Evans had only worked here 18 days. He had been out of the police academy for about 2 months. And you can see what they're doing here. There are flags lined all along around the police department because the funeral procession will come by here. It will stop. We believe there will be a moment of silence. You can see that the flags here are at half staff, and below the flags down low, you can see that there is a memorial for this officer. People have been leaving cards, flowers, candles, and then over next to one of the pillars as you go in, there is a sign for Officer Madrid-Evans with his picture with the end of watch date. Different people have been here this morning, but they're obviously gathering and they're going to the funeral. What's really nice is that other police departments have stepped in to help here at Independence so that all of the members of the Independence Police Department can be there for that funeral. And we will be here during that procession, and we will keep bringing you live reports. But that is the latest here from Independence Police Department. Back to you in the studio.
Angie, thank you. We appreciate it.
Now let's go to Carolina Cruz. She's continuing our team coverage. Carolina's live at Van Horn High School, which is on the procession route. Carolina.
Well, as Angie mentioned, guys, the procession will go from the church and then it'll go to the police department where they will have that moment of silence. And then from there, they will be traveling down. They will be going west on Truman Road, and then they will be able to hang a right here on Winter Road at Van Horn High School. This is one of kind of the places where people can come to gather to pay their final respects to Officer Blaise Madrid-Evans. And we have seen an outpouring of support from the community here in Independence and beyond. And as has been mentioned previously, other police departments have come and joined in to pay their respects as well. And something that we have seen this morning here at this intersection is police from all over Lawrence, Kansas City Police, and other, Spring Hill too, because they're going to be helping not only with attending the service and providing that emotional support for the family in blue, but also to help respond to those calls, as was mentioned, so that the Independence police officers can attend all of these services. So from this location, they will then head on over to Mount Washington Cemetery, where they will have that small graveside service. And that is a place where the public and also the family will be able to attend.
Thank you, Carolina. And like you said, you're on the tail end of the procession. After they leave the high school, they're headed to Washington Cemetery, and that is where they'll have the graveside service there. There will also be a final radio call and a flyover by police and medical aircraft.
And we will be covering that entire procession to show you the route as it happens. We also want to let you know today that Missouri Governor Mike Parson has ordered all flags to fly at half staff during the funeral. The governor also provided KCTV5 a statement in that he says Officer Blaise Madrid-Evans will be remembered as a selfless individual committed to helping others. This brave officer's organ donation will extend the life of Officer Mark Priebe. Officer Madrid-Evans' final generous act is a lasting contribution to the public good.
And that's because of that organ donation that you just talked about, Joe. Officer Madrid-Evans, he was an organ donor. And as the governor mentioned, he gave his kidney to Mark Priebe, who is a Springfield officer. He received that kidney.
Out of all the thousands of people out there that are waiting on a kidney, that Mark was a match is truly God doing what God does.
Last year, Officer Priebe was paralyzed after someone ran over him while he was on duty. He was just added to the transplant list earlier this month and was getting ready to start dialysis.
He'll forever be part of our family.
I think my goal is I want to be able to honor Blaise in the way I continue to live my life.
Now, earlier this week, we heard from the fallen officer's family for the first time. In a statement, they say, "We would like to take a moment to thank the Independence and surrounding communities for their overwhelming love and emotional support during this incredibly difficult time."
Knowing Blaise's kidney has gone to help another police officer brings us an incredible level of comfort and peace. Also, knowing many other lives are being impacted by his decision to be an organ donor helps as well.
Now, if you'd like to help Officer Madrid-Evans' family, you can make a donation the next time you're at Hy-Vee. Shoppers can choose to donate at the register, and the store will match all those donations up to $10,000. All money raised will go to the Independence Police Foundation. The foundation runs through October 1st.
All right, right now it is 10:56 and our coverage will continue of Officer Madrid-Evans' procession and funeral as the hours go on. Again, that is set to begin at 11. We encourage you to join us here at noon for full coverage.
Now, we will be live for the salute to Officer Madrid-Evans as soon as the procession begins.